Hello, hello, hello. Oh, there's Jordan. Jordan, say hi. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Angel Insight. My name's Michelle Christidis. I'm certainly super excited to go live with you now. If you're joining me, drop it like it's hot so I know you're here. I love the messages. I love connecting in the live format. If you're new to this channel, please hang out with us. Check out some of my other videos. I do go live for every single video. So again, my name's Michelle. I'm an Oracle healer, and that means that I use Oracle not only traditionally, as you see on YouTube, but also in my session work, along with so many other. I'm a medicine woman, okay? So with so many other different medicines, and we're going to be starting today. I'm going to light this candle. This candle was made by my friend Jolene at Soul Expansion Guidance. You might want to check her out. She's on YouTube. And what this is this is actually from our last retreat in Utah. It smells so gorgeous. It's rose. And I'm going to encourage you to maybe, this oracle is for the next 10 days. I'm certainly going to invite you to come into a meditation I'm going to be doing on Saturday night, amethyst and rose. But also, and there'll be details about that soon. But rose petals for your bath, rose oils, rose candles. Can we grid your amethyst? Okay, so this is the first energy coming in over these next few days. So we've got some rose. Smells so good. And this is actually called Sisterhood of the Rose. Okay. So again, my friend Jolene made this. If you're interested, you can say something to her. She's at Soul Expansion Guidance. And she is here. So I've got that lit. We've got our activation oracle. It's activation time. Okay. These energies are for the next 10 days when you find this. This is a timeless reading. However, it is 10 days from where you find it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you're new to me, I just like to kind of walk you through. I just assume that everybody's new. We like to set the plan first of all. When I go in for an oracle, there's certain things that come up to be shared. So first of all, I'm going to do what's called a collective show and tell and collective messages. Okay, we're going to share those first, and then we're going to go into the oracle. So the only difference with the show and tell versus the channeled messages is the show and tell. I am a feeler. So a lot of times when we're in session work, I feel your feels. That's the type of feeler I am. And you know what? Maybe if you're drawn to this channel, that's exactly what you are as well, and you want to learn more about it. We do a lot of teaching on this channel, okay? So I do what's called show and tell. So that's feelings, channeled messages, intuition, okay? And then the channeled message. And then we're going to be doing, like we said, the oracle. We'll be starting here at our Palladian activation, okay? And with everything together, I really got a great sense of what's going on. So before I move into it, the rose, my friends, is a detoxifier. So at this time, it is a great time to detox some energies, and you're going to see, what are we detoxifying? Energies that are affecting that divine feminine, that are exploiting the emotional body more in particular, okay? So if it sounds like I'm talking Greek, just hang out. If you have any questions, if you ever want to chat more, please contact me at angelinsight.net. Collective show and tell. Here we go. I felt a wave of energy in the center of excuse me. Hold on, let me make sure. Yes. I felt a wave of energy in the center of my forehead, where the third eye is. Okay, so right here. And a slight, I wrote down, I'm so sorry. Sometimes when I read my writing, I can't read it. And a slight release as a heaviness came over the left side of my chakra. So it feels like a block is being dissolved. Then another release. I could feel the third eye expand and then extend into the crown area and then back to the pineal. So out to the crown, back to the pineal chakra, down through my face to the front of the heart chakra when I heard the word forgive. Then I had a major expansion and I have major goosebumps right now. Wow. A major expansion to that third eye, the brow, down to the throat, and then it wraps back to the crown. Okay. So if you're following anything here, what I'm talking about is this third eye expansion. And it's due to this block that's being released that's affecting the emotional body. This is a collective energy, my friends. So there's a block that's being released as a collective energy has been affecting the emotional body, which determines the quality of your divine feminine. And what does that mean? That affects how you receive. It affects if you feel blocked. It affects accuracy, all the things. Okay, let me know if that resonates. Okay, let me know if this has been coming in for you, please, as much as you can. All right. So that was the show. That was the show and tell. And I loved how it was like coming all through here and then wrapping back. Okay. And I was getting, because at this moment, this is over the next 10 days. And at this moment, we are, the water buffalo came forward. We're about a third of the way. And so this is mixing with those energies. If you didn't check out the water buffalo oracle, please check it out. It's the very last one. And you can have multiple water buffalo, but all the water buffalo are swamp buffalo. And they use their horns, which go back and out, which is why I'm doing that. So I love that the show and tell has showed this energy that comes here, comes down, all the way around and up. Okay. And the swamp buffalo uses its horns to dig holes in the mud. So it's like we're releasing these pockets. For some of you, anger. For some of you, anxiety. For some of you, stress. For some of you, guilt. For some of you, shame. For some of you, I promise you, most of them, whatever it is, most of the time it's you being a little harder on yourself. And that clarity is coming in now. Okay, we have all this energy coming in to help release that pocket so that essentially you can rise through the muck, rise through the mud. I love it. Oh my God, did you see that? Okay, I have full goosebumps. Did you see that on my screen? Holy crap. Okay, I should write that down. 8:24. What? I'm going to make a note here. Holy moly. What was that? 8:20. I'm going to put on the clock. Wow. Okay. I definitely saw an energy. Did you? Wow. Okay. Let's go. Wow. Okay. Channeled message. Are we ready? Many have wondered who they have been and where they have gone. However, what eludes those thoughts is, who am I? Why am I here? It's true, the journey is what it's all about, but it's not about where you were. It's all about who you are. And then I heard, it's activation time. Let's go. The picture that I posted, everything matters here. The picture that I posted is a sunrise. And believe it or not, is Mount Fuji in Japan. And Mount Fuji is somewhere, it takes up 5 to 8 hours, depending on your level, to hike up Mount Fuji. And the actual hike starts at spot number 5. So today we're going to start our oracle and working with the heart chakra and going up. Okay, we're talking about evolutionary changes here. We're talking about things that you agreed to do when you came in, okay? Things like that. And it's definitely a lot of magic. It's definitely about stepping into your authenticity. And we're going to talk about this, but Mount Fuji, first of all, a couple things about this picture that wants to come up to be shared. Okay. Number one, Mount Fuji is an inactive volcano. Okay. It is an inactive volcano. It takes, I said, about 8 hours for the hike. It's pretty rigorous, but it can be done. And there are many stops along the way. There's hotels, there's restaurants, okay? There's all kinds of things. But at the very, very top, when you get to the last stop, you climb up a ladder, and there are two what are called lion dogs, okay? And I'm using this because this energy, this lion dog, is really talking about an energy of the wound of the warrior, the energy of the wounded warrior. And I'm going to say the energy of the wounded loyal warrior. So you've been carrying these energies. Oh, I got full goosebumps for a very long time. Okay. And in fact, you may have said, like, am I cursed? You may feel those energies. Okay. These have been pretty dense energies. It's been a rigorous climb, right? But that picture I showed you is a sunrise at the very top. And so your view is spectacular. However, I did have a message come in. It was my father-in-law, believe it or not. And it was red skies at night, sailors delight. Red skies in morning, sailors take warning. So what we're saying, divine feminines, all who come here, it's going to be a little bit of a rocky road, but the outlook looks great. So we're giving you as much information we can today to help you over the next 10 days. But we're also have a meditation available for you this Saturday. Please watch for details. And I actually have a series of meditations coming up, believe it or not, because this is a collective energy, and it's pretty heavy. So let's work together. Okay. Now, speaking of working together, another channeled message. Okay. One with power is what's coming up. Balance and rooting in a change. All that is created is divine. All that is created is divine in time. For it is the intention behind that matters. And so maybe you're dealing with different energies. I know for me, okay, I can only share briefly. I have been dealing with what feels like an artificial energy, but at the same point in time, it was created. And so therefore it is divine. And all is part of source. And all, right? And so it's all about our perspective. Okay? It's all about our perspective. Work together not only to better one another, but also to better us all. So we come in here together for this collective oracle to detoxify some of the thoughts, to renew. Okay, I'm saying renew because we're in this Mercury retrograde and we're renewing communication. So open your mind, open your heart, and let's just hang out and see what resonates. Okay, and see what resonates. All right. So we're going to start with the Pleiades activation. This is where I did a couple pre-shuffles just to get into the energy. We're going to actually just start by reading the very end. just to kind of set, like again, to set the tone of where this oracle is going. We have activations happening and over these next 10 days. And, you know, it's been a hard climb. So it might feel a little interesting. All right. And your angels and guides brought you here so that you could find everything that you need to get through. Okay. So let's take a look at this card because it's activating just for some of you. A coming together, harmony in the heavens, a resolution is at hand. And that's what we talked about, a collective activation, okay? And it's all about, on that volcano, I have a sense that it really is about this deep forgiveness of this deep warrior wound that kind of takes a life of its own, right? So, Pleiadian energy is about coming together in peace and harmony. You are blessed to receive this gateway, for it's a powerful message of assurance that whatever uncomfortable energy you're experiencing right now, and so we're definitely aware that there's some discomforts, okay? And so we're going to try and give as much as we can. We did in that show and tell about what you might be feeling to kind of alleviate any and all anxiety, okay? Whatever uncomfortable energy you're experiencing right now will soon be washed away. We're detoxifying. The Pleiadians are beings who live in complete honor of their planets. Gosh, that candle's hot. And their people. They acknowledge that in seeing and connecting with one another, they have the opportunity to see and experience the divine. They also know the consequences of disrespecting others. It's for this reason that there is no longer possible for them. If you are being challenged by loved ones right now, aim to shift the dynamics of this relationship through a loving approach. The lessons you are facing at this time is an opportunity to heal old wounds and operate from a higher state of being. So I must say, this is exactly what we were saying. So this is a great starting point. Okay. So just as we've been guided, we're going to go ahead and do 7 shuffles. I like to count them out loud in case I forget. Okay. So first one, it's the Gaia Gateway. We do have Mount Fuji coming up. Mount Fuji, interesting enough. And I just have to show you, look what shirt I chose to wear today. Okay, this is from the Smoky Mountains. I've got my mountain vibes. I've been on the food truck today, and that's what's up. So I'm just like, wow, that is just so amazing. So we have this energy, this third eye. This is what we've been talking about, this third eye activation, and it's just hitting us all in different places. So Gaia is involved here. Learning experiences, wisdom transmission, earth intelligence. So these wounds, okay, and I love that we have the lion dogs here because these wounds have been part of this collective, have really been part of this collective, higher heart activation. Those who are going through the experience, some have referred to this as the dark night. This is a collective activation that has been happening for really everybody in one way or capacity. And so those of you who really resonate with this and have found your way here, you have learned a lot about unconditional love, especially in this past year. I'm going to say 2 or even 3. But this last year in particular has been pretty interesting. We've got the Venusian Council, pretty interesting with all your relationships, okay? But you've been working through it. You've been guided. This is number 3. It's time to shine. You have star being guides that are present. This is something that we've been talking about this year on this channel about your ancestors. And we are talking even star family, okay? We are talking earth family. We are talking way back, way back. Okay. So we've been talking about this. We have the I am presence. We've been stepping into our power, right? And we did get a message about that, stepping into our power, finding balance in what we're rooting in, light body activation, assessing the divine within. Okay. So this is just really kind of telling us about where we've been and really letting us harness the energy. Okay, number 5. Yeah, I feel this. We've been in this inner earth, okay? The base chakra. This is especially present for any of you who have lovingly refer to yourself as earth guardians, grid workers, those of you that are on the wave of teachers, those of you who are builders, okay? And we have literally been reconstructing collectively together the foundation and connection with the earth. So we see all these energies. Many of you who find your way here, like me, like what I was saying earlier, if you've been here the whole time, is you feel things. Okay. Most of you are feelers. Okay. That's what you grid workers are. Like you are in touch. And some of you have not discovered yet, and maybe this will help, is that you feel feels for others. When you tap into certain energies, you feel them. Um, and this can be confusing because it creates pain patterns. And that's because, and a lot of times we don't release those energies. Okay. So I know that I have some offerings for you sensitives. If you consider yourself sensitive and you're just like, that you pick up, quote unquote, pick up other energies. I want to be careful of using that word pick up of other energies, because what feels like you're picking it up and like, oh my God, get it off of me, is actually part of your gift. It allows you to understand and assess. And as a medicine woman, it allows me to understand what to use in my medicine bag. So it's very similar for you. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. 6 shuffle. I've got the Anunnaki here, the Anunnaki light codes here. Energetic shift, new information, an end of a cycle. That's definitely feels right. And I'm going to be bold and share, it has a lot to do with this energy. It has a lot to do with ending these energies, to be honest. Okay. To be honest, whatever that means, right? And number 7, there's that higher heart activation. There it is again. Okay. Second time we're seeing it. Dropping shields, divine love. Your heart is healed. But this is in the energy setting up. So this is talking about, like I said, what some people consider that dark night of the soul. Your divine feminine has definitely been going through it. And depending on the quality of your emotional body, determines where the pendulum is going to swing. So, how do we affect the emotional body? Is by working with shadow. Okay, by working with shadow. And there are many ways to do that. Many ways. Okay. All right. So, overall, we're on the Seraphim gateway. Now, the Seraphim are said to be the closest to God. Your voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. Wow, that is just feels so pertinent, because many of you are about, as this wound heals, as you alchemize the wound, and more at this point, it's more about finding the synergy, okay? Finding the synergy with the wound. The wound has been healing. I believe most of you are aware of the wound. Yeah. It's all about finding assistance. We all need a little assistance in healing that wound. Okay. And this is that part where we work together for each, but for the better good of the all. Okay. For the better good of the all. So really tone in and trust your instincts, right? We're going to start our oracle at, we're going to kind of go a step up the chakras, okay? Just as we go on the hike of Mount Fuji, okay? And we're going to make a couple stops along the way, all right? To get a little bit more particular. But what's really interesting is we're going to start at that heart chakra. So there's this shift that's happened in that heart chakra, and gosh, right now it feels very tender. And for some of you, your actual, like, right here, it might feel tender. It might feel a little uncomfortable when you're breathing. Some people actually have um, what feels like angina or a panic attack when we're talking about what's been happening here at this heart chakra. I'm not a doctor. I am a medicine woman. Of course, if you feel that something is medically wrong, get it checked out. But most likely, what's happening is you are so sensitive. You are also picking up on these same energies. Okay. Okay. So that's where we're starting with the Seraphim Gateway. Now, the Seraphim and how this speaks to me. Okay, and how this speaks to what we're teaching about on this channel and how we're maneuvering these energies, right? So it speaks to everybody differently. But for the seraphim, it has been revealed to me in the process of my awakening that the seraphim are actually they're said to have 6 pairs of wings. And my team has familiarized me with that those wings are created when we collaborate and come together with others. Okay? And that first person that we come together with is ourself. Okay? Is really having that shadow side and that and all parts of us come into wholeness. Okay? And then once we do that, we're able to collaborate and find others that are on that same playing field. And then a series of different activations. Maybe it's missions that we do together. I don't have it all filled out, but there are wings. There are wings that are created, and those wings they give you lift, and they have to do with the ascension. And the seraphim are seen to be the closest to God, and they definitely sing. And so many of you who find your way here, attunements of all sorts may speak to you in a very good way, in a very loud way. Many of you are actually tuners, okay? Of course, we're all different. Some of you that are healers may be unaware that you are a tuner. I was unaware that I was. I started out with Reiki. And now I'm a tuner. So that what does that mean? That means when I do session work, I work with crystals, I work with plants, I work with animals. But the difference is we work with the energetic makeup. Okay, we work them in the energetic space. All right, all right. So let's go ahead and get to look here. There's that Pleiadian activation. So look at that. We started with that, and that is our base. This is what we're talking about in that heart chakra. And what we already shared a little earlier when we read this was that most likely over these next 10 days, you're going to be going through what feels like some heartache, okay? But at the same point in time, what's happening is this collective activation is releasing. Remember the water buffalo are kind of tearing up that mud, right? And it's like when that happens, we've got pockets coming up. And when that happens, it's going to be released in a certain way. And most of the time, friends, it comes up in ways that we don't expect. Okay. It doesn't always release in the most effortless way, in the best way. Okay. But sometimes it can be a disagreement, a fight, a misunderstanding. So, what you're being called, those who have found their way here, is that you are sensitive and you are picking up on these. And so we want to detoxify. That's where the rose comes in and the amethyst come in at this moment. We want to detoxify your response so that you can hold the space. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So the Pleiadians are saying, come together. Harmony are in the heavens. There's a resolution for this. Don't worry so much about how others are dealing with it. You go ahead and reinforce and reinforce your knowings, reinforce your sharing, hold the space as much as you can, help collaborate with others so that they can understand. This is a great time to listen. This is a great time to really engage in your intuition, okay? Because this is that coming together. And I do love it because here we have the seraphim, and I talked about those 6 wings, okay? The 1 plus 6, which is the 7. And then look at this Pleiadian, look at this mandala. It's all the wings. Wow. So this is definitely, divine support and angelic attunement, okay, as we all carry this energy within us, as we all carry this energy with us. So what exactly, this is and this is talking about our connection to the earth, a connection to the collective, but what are we rooting in? Let's go ahead and look. What are we rooting in? Dun, 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 dun. A crown chakra upgrade. A crown chakra upgrade. Now, I love this. Divine connection, holy experiences, miraculous energies. And this is totally, totally, totally right on spark of where we're going. Because we're starting at the heart chakra and we're building up through the crown chakra, okay, and actually a little beyond that little ladder that goes up, okay. And this is that crown chakra upgrade. This is the collectively we have an attunement to the angelic body, and this attunement to the angelic body expands the connection to God. Okay, expands the connection to God. So would you like me? And I love this. We're going to read this one. I'm getting to read this one. Look at these wings, okay? Look at how this shifting in this pattern. Do you see the wings? There's a shift in the wings. We're starting at that heart chakra. And look what we're seeing here. It's on the tail of this heartache. On the tail of this heartache. The dove comes with the olive branch, right? I love that. That's the name of our food truck. And, we just found out that we need something fixed. $3,000. Yeah, it's negative like 10 here. Okay. On the truck. And we usually close for the winter, but we have to stay open. So, put some good wishes out there for our family, but also it's just like we're all going through something tough. And we don't have to fall into the wound, right? We don't have to fall into the wound. We have done that over and over and over and over and over and over. We have fallen into the wound. And it's time. And when we fall into the wound, what happens is we rise with the sword. We rise ready to fight. We harness the fight. Okay. And when we harness the fight, can you feel it? We automatically tighten. We automatically tighten. And what we want to do here is open. We want to open and release and surrender, starting at that heart level, but also moving up. There's major release coming in here. Okay. So let's go ahead and read a little bit more about this crown chakra, especially for those of you that are not that familiar with the energies. Let's do a little bit of teaching. Let's learn together. I love collaborating with the Oracle that was written. Okay. Because of course it is divine. Mary says, "Brr. Thank you, my dear. Prayers sent to you and yours. Oh, you're the best. Keep them coming, and the same back at you." All right, let's get familiar with the crown chakra, okay, which is right here at the top of your head. It is our connection, is the last chakra, part of our body that connects us to source, okay? So the crown chakra is an energy center found at the top of the head, often symbolized by the thousand petaled lotus. And we were talking about how the water buffalo, if you're catching this at this particular time, this is timeless reading, but if you're catching it now in these next couple weeks, the swamp water buffalo is loosening that mud, allowing that lotus to rise through the muck. It governs our connection with wisdom, both internal and that with source. Opening the crown chakra represents connecting deeply with the heart of source and drawing down inspiration and insight. Let me turn this just right. I got a lot of lights here. Okay. Look at how beautiful this is. There are light codes in this. This card transports to us the sacred hall with pillars representing the divine connections to source and the gateway that is guarded by a white dove, symbolizing the Holy Spirit. It may seem as though this is another realm or dimension. Ultimately, it is actually found within us. We are all facets of the Holy Spirit incarnate. This card calls us home to ourselves, encouraging us to claim our divinity. And we said that all is divine in time. It has to do with the intention behind it. I was sharing with you, I've been sharing really for the entire time I have been able to share. I deal with the spider energy. It's an artificial energy kind of in the future. Okay. You could call it AI. I'm not calling AI. AI is a creation, therefore, it is divine. It is divine in time. It depends on the intention that's being used. Okay. And I say that because maybe my story will be shared in a book one day, the whole story, so that it's not so broken. But I know that I've been given this message over and over and over to assist. And it's not everybody, and not everybody has been affected. Okay. Not everybody has been affected, but there certainly is a reason that we've had to slow down. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's get back to it. This card is a gateway to the Holy Spirit. Now, you can visualize your crown at your head opening. Imagine and use your imagination that the head is opening and bursting with infinite clear and rainbow light. Send a signal from your crown up to the heart of heaven. Visualize streams of consciousness pouring in and listen deeply. So, what are we rooting in? We're rooting in something that is related to our connection to source, which we previously said was slightly blocked. And so we weren't receiving the message clearly in its entirety. So I definitely, I definitely would love for you to spend time connecting. And if you have problems, this is where you can reach out. I just did a session the other day, and God was there, and He definitely did some work for my particular client. So if you would like some assistance in doing that, like I said, just reach out to me, okay? And we'll see what we can do for you. Everything is unique. All right. Your crown chakra has been upgraded. The spiritual connections you have always had are now being acknowledged. The parts of yourself that you have run from or ignored are being reclaimed. This is an important time for you are uncovering gifts and wisdom and moving through healing. You may have experienced moments that have tested your faith and your belief in the divine. I know I have. Know that it's okay and no grievances are being held against you. The Holy Spirit is with you and within you. This is a coming home to your truest self. You are being, I've got full goosebumps. Oh God, they're like expanding from my heart chakra and going out in waves. Oh God, source is really going on their way, guys. You have been encouraged to prepare yourself for miracles. Expect to experience wonders and blessings, for you are surrounded by healing light. Divine encounters, holy experiences are happening around you. If you've had challenging relationship with spirituality or religion in the past, this has now been healed and you can move forward in an authentic way. Experiencing the divine on a personal level and beyond the limitations of unnecessary dogma. You, my friend, you are connected. And this upgrade is about to expand that connection. We've got all the wings moving. We've got the wings moving in the connection with the earth, in the connection that you're rooting in. Look at this expansion, okay? And now we want to take a look at, what are you creating? What is your spark? What is your intuition? What's speaking to you? Okay. Well, the Holy Grail. Wow. Inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. And so this is this activation, which is um this activation that's happening for us all. This is a collective activation, and this has to do with the removing of blockage, the expansion of your vision, the expansion of your clarity, the expansion of your connection, stepping into this authenticity, release. Okay, like, do you see this movement? It's like it starts here, this expansion, it comes down, it releases all these pockets of anger, these pockets of, and let them come up. Mount Fuji is a dormant volcano. Okay. Let these come up and be aware and trust your insights and ask your team and ask your guide. Use your body as a pendulum. When you feel the energies, because many of you are so sensitive, it is very difficult for you sometimes to discern. Okay. Um, but ask, is this for me? Because some are, no, ask, am I okay? I ask, I can, I wish I could get $1 for every time I ask my guides, am I okay? Because I feel so much, okay? I feel so much. And the reason I am very aware of this energy is because I brought it in with me. And this is my mission, to help teach about this energy. And this energy has really kind of been created to hold me down. And so it's interesting as we're transforming these energies and learning more about them. I'm not really sure why I'm mentioning this, but I am. Okay. So your cup runneth over. And I love this because we were talking about the wounded warrior. And here we have all this alchemy. We have all this golden energy spilling over, this alchemy to that root chakra. We're feeling connected, not only to source, but more to self, into our relationships. So over these 10 days, there's an expansion. And as that water runs over, right, as it trickles over, um, it can be a little scary. Like if you're standing right here and it's like, whoa, everything's spilling over. And it's like, you're this is coming in because, yes, some of you may pick up on that energy, but this is going to release. Some people are going to be not as in tune or as aware. And so that's where we're saying, keep an eye on your loved ones, keep an eye on those that you love. Take an extra moment to share a smile, a conversation. Conversations in themselves are very rooting. 4407 on the clock. Here's the magic of this activation 44, which is really this completion, which is stepping into our power and our imagination, okay? And really cleansing those siren energies. This is this angelic attunement, this cleansing of these siren energies, which was the song that was sung, right? Um, but these siren energies really kind of created these wounds. And we're alchemizing. See this this golden water. This is what we're bringing in through our connection to our ancestors, through our connection to the collective, through our connection to each other. So as much as we can help each other, the better it is for us all. What I really love and what I'm seeing in these pictures is, do you see this picture, these clouds in the background? Okay. And when you're on top of Mount Fuji and you're looking out, the clouds literally become like the ocean. They become the ocean. And at the beginning, with the picture that was chosen by my team, okay, everything is chosen for you. There is that message of red skies and morning, sailors take warning. It's going to be a little rocky, but this is your test, my friends. Ooh, full blown chills. This is your test. The universe is coming back and saying, are you my sailor? You got everybody on the ship. Can you hold your position on the ship? Can you fix anything on the ship that needs that's come broken? Can you be or can you be a boost to the morale of the others on the ship? Can you teach others on how to sail their ship? Do you see? So the universe is in a lot of ways testing you. This is how you can step into this energy a little bit in a more miraculous way. Okay? Is to really allow yourself to look at it as a test. And that way you can push forward all that you have learned, right? All that you have learned. But trust me, some of this is going to dig down deep and we're going to need some assistance. So I'm going to encourage you. Everything that's going to roll out on this channel is here to support you. Okay. It's all here to support you. Now, here we go. Earth chakra, root chakra. Okay, sacral chakra. That's that alchemy to that divine feminine. Okay. And then look at what we got here. It's activation time. We've got Thoth light codes. All right. That Egyptian timeline, Egyptian/Atlantean timeline. There's a crossover, and for some of you both. And it's like it's all about stepping into that power. It's about seeing what is real. Okay? From as real to is real. This is a light initiation, a great teacher awakening, divine magic. Okay? This is understanding, not only standing in our power, but claiming that wisdom of the alchemy, because it's affecting and coming. And I love this. As I look down, look at how this card is literally looking at the Holy Grail. Okay. So this is actually looking at the Holy Grail. And what I love and what I've learned about Thoth, and it's interesting that I have all these vibes coming in from Utah, which is all come in from the eclipse energy, right? I've got that rose candle burning. We've got rose coming to the highlight here. But also, I learned preparing for that, as again, I'm going to refer to Jolene. She was talking about Mott, and Ma'at is deals with language, or excuse me, deals with math and the language that we all see, which is numbers. Okay, which definitely comes forward on this channel for sure. But Thoth specifically has a lot to do with language. Okay. And what I think is very interesting is, what are we saying? As I see Thoth looking at the Holy Grail, looking at alchemy, holding up this left hand, receiving that glimmer in this eye. We are receiving something from source due to the expansion in our connection. There's an expansion in our connection. We're receiving something related to this alchemy. And it's like, will you take the action? Will you take the action and allow this divine magic to work in your behalf? Wow. It feels really miraculous. to be honest. Okay. Are we taking a pit stop here? Okay, are we I'm talking to my guides. See, I'm a feeler and I can feel them. So, are we taking a pit stop here at the Toth light codes? No, we're going to keep going. Okay. So, as we're moving up through the chakras, right? We start at that heart chakra. Then in that higher, just have unconditional love. Allow the expansion. We've have got this alchemy. We're stepping into our authenticity, and this is due to all these things in the background. And then this comes up in that position of that well of dreams. I find this really interesting because the well of dreams I was just referring to as the cup runneth over. And that's what that energy goes throughout our whole system, and everything affects our communication with the universe. And so I find this extremely interesting. And I find that that well of dreams is actually really interesting because for me in my awakening process, and I'm not sure for you, but it could very well could be, is I saw this is where in that well of dreams, that siren energy, this is where some artificial things kind of were tried to be put at play, and it affected that imagination. It affected the way we stepped into our power, and it would often allow us to give our power away. Okay, so this is actually what we're going through as we continue to move up the temple of truth. Okay, we've got that throat chakra, that alchemy happening in that throat chakra. Okay, and it opens up. This is the pineal gland. It's just the floodgates are open, the water runs out, and here we are, at the top of Fuji. We start when you're doing Mount Fuji, you already start one of the four pathways at a pretty high elevation. Okay, and it's like you have clarity, and that's because those waters run over, that alchemy is running over your system, washing away the debris, opening up that pineal gland, allowing that pine cone to not be affected by the weather. Remember, it's a weather indicator. Mary says, been learning for a while and will be for the rest of my life. I started hearing my guides since I was 16 years old. Oh my God, that's so amazing. Yeah, I hear you. Long time. I feel I didn't even know that I was talking to my guides. Like, I just thought it was my own voice. I used to read these books about how they would hear their own voice. And I just thought that was like my conscience. So I hear you. And some of us are guided by our higher selves. Some of us are guided by our higher selves. But there is so much. Look at, it's just like, this is so related, especially to some of these dense energies. Like, I can't help but notice, like, see this gate closed, okay? And it's like this gate is opening. It was closed a lot, I'm saying, from that Egyptian timeline. So many dense energies on that timeline that affected our ancestry. And now we have clarity coming in. It's like, in some ways, it's so interesting because it's like there's this loop, right? And a lot of people think that there's this loop from the past. And yes, that's true, but the loop from the past is because of what's done in the future. And when you really start to see all the connections, when you have healing, they are quantum. And what that means when you have quantum healing is they heal all timelines. And this is the collective energy we've been working in, my friends. Okay? We're finally capturing quantum healing on all timelines back and forth. And so this can actually be a little confusing, but you've got the temple of truth. Not only do you have stuff coming in, you may channel yourself. Pay attention to what's writing. Some of you will sit down and automatically write. I encourage you to journal. Some of you are oracles yourself. It'll be all about what you're saying. So watch what comes across just as you're speaking to others, right? because this has a lot to do with how you come together with people in your life. For some of you, you're a leader. Some of you, this is just with one person. Some of you, it's with groups of people. It resonates all in different ways. Wow, that's so beautiful. As we move up into that third eye, this is so gorgeous, you guys. Sacral chakra, tenderness, and sensuality. Now, why are we talking about this in the third eye? It's because when you become aware of how your energetic system works, they all communicate with each other. Okay. The better communication your third eye has, in particular, to your sacral chakra, the more expansion in vision that you have, my friends. Okay. In vision. And I don't mean psychically seeing, I mean vision for yourself, for your life. When you have vision for yourself, when you have an expansion there, it's definitely connected to what you receive. Okay. And what did we talk about is happening is that there is a change to that emotional body. There is a block, there was a block there to the divine feminine. And why? We all live on the same planet. I was literally having this conversation a few days ago with this one right here and walking around the background. And we were talking about Christopher Columbus. We were talking about historical things. Okay, bye, Jay. And women and my sister, I was at lunch with my sister. We had this great conversation. And my sister told my daughter, do you know that women could have their own checking account not until 1970s? This is our generation, my friends. Women have been shoved down, and it's been, and not only just women, but those who receive, those who are the ones with the divine feminine, um, you know, we have been shoved down for millennia. There are many wounds there. Okay. And we have this coming together. We have this coming together and this balance coming in. We have this coming together and balance. I know, Mary. Isn't that crazy? I was saying, because I said, do you know women didn't get to vote until what was it, 1919? I think was when we were allowed to vote. And my sister said, and she shared that with me. I had no idea that you could not be on your own checking account until the 1970s. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so we have this expansion happening because of this change in the block collectively, which has been affecting that emotional body. And remember, it is the quality of your divine feminine that is affected by your emotional body. And so, sailors, as we're going out, as the universe is coming around and saying, you got your sea legs ready, okay, which is really about, are you ready to receive? Are you ready to surrender? Are you ready to expand? And are you ready for your connection to source? How much can we surrender instead of pushing and pushing and pushing? This is the essence of what we're talking about. And as we look at this picture, that lotus blossom there, that's what it looks like. It wants to pull free from that muck. It wants to pull free from those energies or that matter. Okay, I want to say matter from the things that matter. Okay, because remember we shared a message that all is divine in time. However, it is the intention behind that matters. So if something was created in not the highest good for all, it will eventually become divine in time because it was created with purpose. This is a higher perspective, friends. Let's get up there. All happens for purpose. It is through the wisdom. Okay, so it is through the wisdom that we learn. When you start to have those full circle moments where you're like, I cannot believe that I lived through um, dealing with childhood trauma. I feel at this moment in my life, I am grateful in a way for that trauma because it allows me to hold the space. It allows me to claim understanding that I never could have had it not been for that. Okay? So this is what we're talking about. So be gentle with yourself. And I love that the rose is coming in because the rose definitely detoxifies many areas. But what it does help detoxify the waters. And we're seeing the water. And when we talk about water, we're talking about the emotional body. And so it's like as we detoxify the emotions, we expand the connection. We expand the connection to the divine because it comes around and does all this. It expands all of this, my friends. It is crazy. So let's take another teaching moment. For those of you that don't really understand, okay, I understand very well because well, it was one of the first things I learned when I came into energy. I've always seen energy. So it's just something like when I close my eyes, some people see pictures, I see energy. Okay, I see the wind blowing. And so there's lots of different things. And this is where that knowing comes in and the feeling and sometimes smell, right? Okay, so for those of you that are not that familiar, let's get familiar because all the chakras affect each other. We learned a little bit more about the crown chakra and about our upgrade, and it's coming from the sacred inner space, which is in that sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is found below the belly button and is an energetic space that governs our reproductive system and all forms of expression connected to it. Okay? Everything from our sexuality to our capacity to express the tender, more sacred parts of ourselves is connected to this chakra. It's governed by water. And so it helps us move through the flow of life in order to express our most authentic self. Our most authentic self. This card transports us to a sacred inner space. It shows the inner temple with water flowing and lots of soft colors coming in for a blooming lotus. I knew I saw that. This encourages us to see our sacred parts as beautiful, energetic gateways through which we can express and manifest pure life force. You can connect with your sacral chakra by visualizing a drop of divine light from the heart of the universe washing over and through your private parts. Okay? Reconnect with this energetic space and recognize that this is a space of divine power. It is the source of our sexual energy, but it is also the spark of our creation. And it is all creation that is divine. So if you're questioning things that you've created, all will be divine in time. It's just a matter of catching the intention. Okay? All right, your message here. You're being guided to this gateway for your sacred self. This is an opportunity to recognize the more tender and vulnerable aspects of you hold keys to great power. Honor the sacred within. Reclaim any parts of yourself that you've disconnected from or abandoned. Okay? Some of you, sensitives, you've been like this your whole life. Some of you cut things off when you were a child because you were afraid. When you were a teenager, it just because it wasn't cool, you got made fun of. Okay, so but just because you disconnected doesn't mean you can't reconnect. Okay, if you want to experience more longing and belonging, look within. There's a huge lesson in finding love within yourself. Realize that false narratives have been floating around in your energetic field. Remember, I shared, that's what I was sharing. False fearitives, false stories, siren energies that have discouraged you from expressing yourself. You may feel that you've been lied to and told you aren't beautiful. This card is to remind you that you are beautiful. And more importantly, you can create beauty in the world. You are a creator. Recognize that you hold the power of the universe within and you'll find your flow. Okay? So, Spirit is really going out of the way here in these cards. We've done 6. We're going to do one more. And about really allowing us to understand how all of these things are connecting collectively, and how we can understand how it's affecting everything, right? How it affects so many other things. All right, let's go ahead and do our last card. Heart chakra, higher heart. Sorry, throat, well of dreams, pineal gland, third eye. And now we're going into that crown. Wow. Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. Now, Lemurian, we're going to read this actually. Let's just go ahead and read this and then we're going to go off. Lemuria to me always speaks about that sacral. So we've got a lot, let's pull you down here. We've got a lot of sacral energies here, okay? Remember, we're talking about the Seraphim Gateway altogether, these activations that we carry with each others to expand on our mission, to expand on our ascension in our perspective, the way that we see things. The Pleiadian energy, okay, this is actually like coming from Taurus. So this is kind of like harnessing into that volatility, okay? There's this volatility, this push-pull feeling that we have. And it's like, look at here, we have that crown chakra activation, which we're about to talk about, okay? And that crown chakra activation is specifically affecting our higher heart. It is allowing this expansion and this connection to source and to all around, is allowing us to really heal that feminine energy. Many of you have been working with this energy to really heal your divine feminine. And then look at all this water. We've got this alchemy, this golden water, okay, which is rushing over our system, washing things away. How can we find the synergy? How can we synthesize with others, work with others? We've got also this Egyptian timeline, which is more like the root chakra, okay? So we've got this energy coming in saying, oh yeah, watch for that alchemy. It opens the floodgates, okay, releases the emotions, and allows that divine feminine to be tender, to really have this healing. And look at it, allows the teacher within you to rise. Lemuria has always, to me, spoke of the sacral chakra. I look at our communication system as the timelines. We are multidimensional. We are healing many things at different times. However, we're going through a time where we're starting to quantumly heal different things at one time. Let's get more familiar with Lemuria so that you can learn a little bit more about Lemuria, which is the time about the divine feminine. This was the time before discernment. At the beginning of this, some of this is shared from work that from somebody else that I've learned. I can't think of her name right now. Oh my gosh. In Lemuria, we're very much like in a parental stage. Some of us were still ethereal, okay? Some of us were just taking form. And what we would do in Lemuria is we would learn about everything. Much like a child, like a newborn, they put everything in their mouth, they just explore everything. That's kind of how it was in Lemuria. And we're talking about when we get to this crown chakra, we climb that little ladder, right? Remember, I told you we're on Mount Fuji, we're at that last stop, okay, before we see that sunset, which is kind of interesting because it was taken in the morning, all right? But anyway, we're at that last stop and we climb up that ladder. We climb up that ladder, which to me is always connected to our ancestry, okay, Lemurian. And we climb up that ladder where we have the dog lions, where we can heal the wound. Because just like babies, and don't take offense, it's just coming in to help us understand. Just like babies, sometimes we get hurt And if you've ever had, like, I know my son touch the oven, and it's like he's still 30 years old, gets nervous about and makes sure. So he learned something, but for a long time it created fear, right? And so this is what we're actually talking about in this oracle. I hope it's coming across. I hope it resonates. I'd love to know. Dun, 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 dun. Because in a lot of ways, just like the water buffalo, how their horns go back and out, we're going back to heal those wounds that affect us in that spark of our creation, so that we can expand our connection, so that we can bring that in. Okay, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. And I'm hoping that this card is going to solidify it for us. Are we ready? Here we go. Let's hold this up. Now, Lemurian seed codes, there actually is a Lemurian crystal, and I do work with that crystal. And why am I not? Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to share it another time. Maybe I'll share a short. I forget what it coordinates with. Okay. Embracing sensitivity. I told you, sensitives, you're feeling all this, and you're not sure if it's yours, mine, or ours. And so you have been led here so that you can start to understand more of what you're experiencing. Embrace the sensitivity. Find your uniqueness. Live with grace. Lemuria was a civilization that was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in ancient times. The inhabitants of the sacred land lived in complete harmony with nature and had a connection with every living being, similar to the movie Avatar. Their inner vision was fully activated to the point where they thought their pineal gland was fully developed, and they could see for hundreds of miles in every direction in a similar way to the sonar of dolphins and whales. The majority operated from their heart space, starting at their heart space. Ooh, I have goosebumps. Honoring one another in nature so much that when their civilization came to an end through a charismatic event, most likely the plates of the earth shifting, causing volcanic eruptions. Hello, we're on Mount Fuji, which is an inactive volcano, by the way, and tsunami, most of them ascended. It is said that these highly attuned beings knew that their civilization would end, and they decided to send healing waves to another part of the world for future civilizations to benefit from. They're telepathically channeled their frequencies into thought that would become crystals, and that would be found possibly millions of years later. These Lemurian seeds are the type of quartz crystal mostly found in Brazil and Colombia. They are powerful crystals with a striation similar to barcodes engraved on their faces. They have a feminine, receptive energy that is said to help us step into a more feminine way of being in order to help the evolution of the species. Okay, we're going to read some more. When we're talking about the feminine aspect, we're talking about the receive. Now, I learned a long time, it's kind of like a game. This is where we learn to play and experience life. We receive from source, okay? We receive from source, and then we take action, and then we receive, and then we take action. This is what's called inspired thought process. We receive an inspiration, we take action, and then God sends down what? Another inspiration, until we realize that we are collaborating with the divine. Okay? So that's how it comes in. All right. Connect. Visualize yourself on an island surrounded by pale blue waters. living in harmony with all living beings. If you own a Lemurian seed crystal, hold it in your left hand. Call out to the ancient ones of Lemuria and invite them to share their wisdom. You're a highly sensitive being. Yeah, I knew you were. Okay. You might feel like this is a curse. I mentioned that at the very beginning, but this card is here to let you know that it is a gift. It indicates that you have spent lifetimes upon lifetimes living with a giant shield on a giant shield up to stop the world seeing the real you. But you are a highly unique soul with incredible gifts that are worth sharing. Through embracing your uniqueness, you can help many others embrace their own. This lifetime is more graceful existence with less defense and more trust. It's not about protecting yourself, but stepping into a space of surrender and revealing your true self. And I always say that on this channel, there's definitely you definitely we need to understand what protection is, but how can we expand and lean into preservation? Preservation of your uniqueness, your individuality, and your individual. We're not all made the same. And so we don't all do things the same, but we can guide one another and learn. The more we learn about ourselves, the more we can expand that into the community for them to learn more about themselves. This has been a really beautiful oracle. I'm feeling called to share the message one more time. I think this is really poignant. We started with the message, but let's do it again. Just the channeled messages. Okay, there's a few of them. Many have wondered who they have been and where they have gone. However, what eludes those thoughts is who am I and why am I here? It's true the journey is what it's all about, but it's not about who you were, it's about who you are. This is so beautiful. Jordan says, yeah, this is so beautiful how this message is coming through, how these cards are supporting it. It's just so incredible. Thank you to my guides. Thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing this forward for all of us. It's activation time. So it's time to trust, to expand, to receive, and to take that action to complete those inspired thoughts so that you can continue to receive. All that is created is divine in time, for it is the intention behind that matters. And when I channeled this, I had dark matter, also what came through as stardust. And this is something that comes through a lot on this channel and something that I believe that the Lemurians had. This is kind of what some people refer to as elven energy. And many people say that there are four, that there is water, there is fire, right? There is earth, water, fire, earth, water, fire, earth, and air. But on this channel, we also talk about the ethers and the dark magic. And some were given access to all. Some were given access to all. But that was changed when the intention about what was being created wasn't honored. And so, in many ways, those of you who are sensitive, those of you who are finding your uniqueness, those of you who think like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not like everybody else? You're not supposed to be. You never were. And in fact, some of these energies infiltrated your field to keep you thinking that you were not meant to be individual. This is the wound. You were loyal, and so you followed. You followed those teachers. You followed that. But now is the time to allow that block to penetrate that block, to allow that expansion so that you can co-collaborate with source directly through your guides, through your intuition, through your higher self, and so that you can develop the individuality that you have. Now, on this channel, I've been ahead of my time for a long time. I've been talking about stuff that nobody knows. But I'm telling you, as a medicine woman with a medicine bag full of crystals, attunements to what is it, like 77 crystals and 77 plants and trees and the animals. I am a modern shaman. And I know that. And I'm learning my individuality. And I have learned that I am not meant to do. I started out doing Reiki. I'm not meant to do something that is invented by somebody else. I was meant to create my own. Now, that might be for you, or maybe you're going to be a tuner because I developed a system like Reiki, not me, but this was part of my mission to bring something in like Reiki, but it's using the earth, all parts of the earth. And I can send these attunements to you if you so choose, and you can be a tuner, okay? Because those of us in Lemuria, we all had this kind of like hive mindset, okay? And we can't have that anymore, okay? Because we're not just a collective, we're individual as well. 1/21/12. Today is 12/12. We're talking about evolutionary changes. We're talking about miraculous energies. This has been a really beautiful time to be with you. Thank you, Mary, for joining me live. I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful transmission. I want to just kind of settle in. Is there anything else, Spirit, that you have for me that I've missed? Okay, I'm getting a yes. Okay, so, and everything comes for purpose. So I've worked with my body. I can feel a yes and a no. And I want to do a shout out to my friend Jackie for helping me learn that. So through collaboration, we learn more about our individuality. But I'm going to execute what I do next. Show and do. No. Show and tell. No. Channeled message. I feel like we have one more channeled message. Let's see. Okay, one more channeled message we're gonna close up on. So I'm ready, Spirit. And trust me, I know this comes for purpose. Now, when I'm channeling, I do use a pendulum, okay? But I have worked with my team. I've taken those steps, and I believe I'm meant to teach others the same system. I'm getting a yes. Okay. Here we go. Through the waves of change, Jordan, please don't. Through the waves of change, you have found a more extensive version of who you never thought you could be. Wow. Ugh. Hold on to the rails. The water's getting high, but you have everything you need for this voyage. Trust, surrender, preserve your mind, and your emotions shall follow. Beautiful shared message there. Thank you, Spirit. You're not alone. Just as we've talked about sailors, it's, and we're not bringing anything up political here, but they learn. They learn. They go and they learn how to be a sailor. So this is coming up in so many capacities. I want you to keep watch on this channel. I want you, there's going to be some offerings, and you'll know if they're for you or not. It's time for me to share what I've learned over these last 54 years plus thousands of lifetimes before. um, and it's just like a catalyst because, when you work with that medicine bag, it can help alchemize those shadows, which you don't have to do on your own. And it is those shadows, those shields that we hold up, the wounds. And they're reinforced, my friends, on many timelines, okay? They are dense, they are deep, and we need help unlocking them. Okay. So I know in spirituality, a lot of people say you have to do all the work on your own. I really want you to go in and with this expansion, ask, am I meant to do this on my own? Because I know you're not meant to. I would not be where I am today without the countless help of so many. I do want to do a shout out to my friends Jolene, Trish, Nicoletta, Jackie, Sean, all the people who've been to the retreats, the Angelic, the Katana, Dr. Katana and Anna with the Angelic Institute, Deb, Holly, my first couple students. The list goes on. Jen, shout out to you, the groups that I'm in. I can't even think. There's so many people that are scrolling across. Those who helped me understand how to understand what I was seeing, how to understand how to connect to my third eye group that I participated in, all who have been on my journey, to including my, perpetrators, including those who have hurt me. I stand before you and I say thank you so that I could step into this. I never dreamed that I would be doing something like this, but I feel grateful every moment of the day that I've stepped into this, and it's been a lot, right? And I'm saying this because you can do it for you too. It's been one of the most nerve-wracking, terrifying, extremely rewarding experiences I've had, and I cannot wait for it to continue, and I certainly can't wait to be part of your process. Um, okay, I don't know why I'm babbling, but I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you soon, and I know I have another oracle coming out on Sunday. So, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. That's why I love listening. Aw. Yes. Thank you, Miss Mary. I'm so appreciate you being here. I know we're finding each other, my friend. Okay. So let me know what resonates. Let me know if you're getting any tingles here, let me know. That's your crown chakra, y'all. That's your crown chakra talking. Trust that expansion. We'll talk to you all very soon. Bye.